So where are you on influencers or athletes coming into the WWE? We see Logan Paul does it from occasionally. We see McAfee, P-Mac comes in. IShowSpeed showed up in the ring a couple of times. So where are you on that? You okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I always feel like it's like, you know, I think it's, as a talent, it can be frustrating because you feel like, you know, if they're in a big spotlight, you know, you're like, they're taking somebody's spot, right? But at the end of the day, like you and I mean this nicely, and I would say this to my younger self too. I'm like, that was never your spot,
right?
You know, that you weren't going to do, it wasn't going to have the same impact. The reason we are able to bring these influencers or actors or whomever into the fray is to get new eyes on the product, and that those new eyes then they can find you, you know, otherwise they ain't going to find you, you know? So that's a tough lesson to learn, I think, as a young talent, because you want those opportunities. But yeah, I mean, I think it's great. And, you know, not all of them are like Logan. Logan's a great example.
No, Logan can really do this.
He can do it, and he developed the passion for it quickly. I don't know that he thought, because he's pretty much full time now. He's every week he's there, and I don't know that when he first started, that he thought that was what it is. Here's this fun thing I get to do.
Right.
You know, he's all about making money, and he's getting paid, and he gets to do this fun thing, and it's kind of like fight adjacent. You know, this athletic, nature to it. I think he got addicted to it. I think he got addicted to the process. And like when you get hooked that way, it's really hard to let it go. And so there's not a lot of him. You know, most of them are like a Speed who gets in the Rumble and gets murked by Braun Breaker, and then he don't want to come back. I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't blame you. Ronda Rousey. Obviously, she was in the UFC, but she tried it. Are you surprised she didn't stay longer?
No, not at all. It's hard. It's really hard. And what they were asking Ronda to do was very difficult. The schedule was crazy still at that time. This is pre-COVID. She comes in 2018, 17, something like that. And at first it's very easy. And I don't mean this in a negative way, but everything's curated for her. So everything's choreographed. And, you know, she has one match every 6 months or something like that. And it gets well rehearsed. And that's fun. And you get to do wrestling that way, and that can be really fun, and that can be addicting for people, but that's not really what wrestling is.
No,
wrestling's a bit of a grind, and you have
to, a couple times a week, huh?
And it used to be 5 times a week, and you have to but that's how you learn your craft, you know. But if you're not used to that, and you're coming in, and it's not Ronda's fault, you're coming in and that's how you're presented, and then you have to work backwards. You have to work, you know, opposite of the way I did, where I came up doing all that, and then I got to do the fun stuff at the end. That's easier, because now it's like, oh wow, wait, you tell me I only have to wrestle 50 times a year? Easy. I used to do 250, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
So this is nothing. When you go the other way, that is a really hard thing to do. And she had other aspirations, you know? She wanted to be a mom. Right. And it's really hard to be a mom and do our gig, especially when you want to have multiple kids. And, you know, kudos to her. She traveled with her oldest daughter a lot, the same way myself and my wife did with our daughter. And that's a really difficult thing to do. And if you're not having fun and you don't love it, it does not surprise me that she was like, I need to get away from this. And not to say she won't come back and give it another go, because she does have a talent for it, but it doesn't surprise me.
Bad Bunny, who performed at the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Did you get that? You meet Bad Bunny?
Oh yeah, I've met Benito multiple times, because he has done a couple things for us from time to time. He had an absolutely wonderful match with Damian Priest in Puerto Rico a couple of years back. He loves wrestling. That's insane, by the way. I just want people to understand that. It was a street fight. It was like a no-holds-barred San Juan street fight. He's going through tables, getting beat with chairs, getting choke slammed. This is the biggest artist in the world. This would have been like Michael Jackson in 1986 at WrestleMania.
Right.
What are we talking about? That's crazy, dude. Could you imagine that? No. Like Paul McCartney ain't getting in the ring.
Exactly.
And, you know, that's crazy. So I have a ton of respect for Benito. He did not have to do that at all. What a stud. Like, I don't know any of his songs, but dude, what a savage.
You and Post Malone had some beef.
Posty, he got up in my grill, man. He's cheering for Punk and his wife over me and my wife. You can't be doing that. You know what I mean?
I mean,
come on now.
That wasn't rehearsed?
No, I didn't even know. I didn't even know he was there. I think he was there with Jelly Roll. They're in the crowd at WrestlePalooza, which again, Indianapolis, a lot of history there. And I just saw him, and he was like, he's booing or something like that. And I saw an opportunity, and I took it. I ain't gonna let him dunk on me and my wife like that. Come on now. Posty.
You good? Y'all good now, though, right? You settled it. Damn, you don't let stuff go, Seth.
Oh,
you got to let stuff go, Seth.
I'm in the conflict business, man. There's no money to be made if everybody's
What about conflict resolution?
Yeah, that's what it is. That's where we get paid, sir.
A fan attacked you. Why did you press charges?
That guy, from my understanding, he was catfished by somebody pretending to be me, and he was not. He was. I don't want to, be rude, but he was not all there.
Right.
There was something off about him.
Okay.
It felt like for me, it felt like the wrong thing to do to try to get him incarcerated in any way.
Right.
And he wasn't a person that had the means to pay for a big fine and go through a whole legal process. I asked the judicial system that contacted me. I said, could we look into please getting this guy some help? Like he's not. I'm lucky that he didn't bring anything to be particularly violent with. That's something that's like very scary in situations like that. But thankfully we got on the other side of it, and you're able to look at it in its totality. Like, okay, what's the best course of action here? And it's probably to try to help this guy if we can do that. So I was not able to follow up. I don't know, but what I do know is that I chose not to press charges for that reason. It didn't seem to me that was going to solve the problem.
GOAT couples, we got you and Becky Lynch. We got Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth.
Okay.
Edge and Beth Phoenix.
Yep.
Matt Hardy and Lita. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon.
That's a good list. That's a good list right there. I mean, we're number one by a mile, but yeah. Shout out to Edge and Beth. They're both great in the ring, but they don't have the accolades that myself and my wife have.
Correct.
So, Stephanie and Hunter,
Did she just wrestle in WrestleMania?
Who's that?
Becky.
Becky? She was at the Rumble. She was
Yeah,
in the Royal
Rumble. Yeah.
She was in the Royal Rumble last week. Yeah. In Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Did not
Liv,
win.
I think Liv
won.
Yeah.
Liv won the Royal Rumble. Yep. Becky has won the Rumble before.
Yeah.
First woman to main event WrestleMania.
Right.
And then myself. You read the accolades earlier. Yeah. I mean, there's nobody on that list that's even close.
Is it easier to date a woman that's in the business with you? Because a guy told me one time, he said, you understand why movie stars date other movie stars? I said, nah. Why? I said, they like each other? No. He said, because the other know what it's like to live that life.
Yes, that part of it is very beneficial. It's something that's like, you don't want to mix business with pleasure, because if it doesn't end well, the risk.
They still wrestle. You got to see each other all the time.
Yeah, it's hard. And then they date somebody else. You're dating somebody else. It's not fun. Like, that's just not a fun thing. So you do try to avoid it. But when you find somebody, and Becky and I were friends for years before we started dating, when you find somebody who gets it and understands what you're doing, and you go through the same things, it's so much easier. And because our business and our industry is so strange and so weird, like, just asking regular people who do regular jobs to understand it can be a tall task,
especially when you're starting out, because you're saying you're wrestling 3 to 5 times a week, so you're gone. So basically 47 weeks out of the year you're on the road.
We would be 300 days a year for sure. Wow. Easy with the travel and the media.
Yeah,
I'd wrestle, like, my craziest years, I would wrestle probably close to 215 matches a year. And that's not including the travel days. Like, we would leave Friday morning from my little town in Iowa. I'd go and I'd do non-televised events Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I would do Monday TV Raw, which was live. Then we would tape SmackDown at the time on Tuesday. And then I would fly home Wednesday morning, and I would leave Friday morning every week for years. Yeah, and that's like a good week. That's like a normal week. I'd have that 36 hours at home, essentially.
Right.
Like, we would have tours that would take us away for months at a time. It was. I mean, there's no chance to have a proper relationship in that situation.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party because you know we like to do something before two something.